go. All right, man. Hey, this your boy Trey. But let's just talk Trey. Actually, this is actually just a wing it interview, or call, whatever you want to call it. But me and this lady here, that I have with me, we've known each other now for a few months. It's been a few months now, off and on in the DMs. Every now and then we'll pop up, hit each other from the stories or things of that nature. And I just been seeing her slam. So I just wanted to just sit down with her and talk to her. And she made time, y'all. She made time. So I appreciate that for real. Like when you can schedule time out your schedule and talk to me. I always appreciate it and I'm humbled by that. So thank you. But ladies and gentlemen, we have here with us today, Keirsten. How you doing, lady?
Yes. Hey, Trey. How are y'all
Hey,
doing?
man, this is a long overdue.
Here.
Yeah, I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad it's long overdue. It's long overdue. In terms of me presenting you to my community, in terms of what you do, and what you do is so much. I'm still trying to figure out. I still don't know what you do. Really, like, look,
I'm weak.
I mean, I still don't know what she do. One time she ran through me what she did. I was like, okay, cool. I still don't know what you do. I should be seeing
All
stuff.
right. So I have a 9 to 5, but I am a serial entrepreneur. But
Hmm.
what I'm most known for is being the
Hmm.
founder of the Inner Success Movement. We are
Hmm.
a community that is dedicated to the journey to inner peace. We do
Hmm.
that by hosting different events, virtual and live events,
Yeah.
um, centered around that cause. We also sell faith-based merchandise. I got our inner peace logo,
Mm.
oldie
Come
but
on.
goodie
Come
on
on.
today.
Come on.
We
See.
also have our annual event coming up in May.
Wow.
Our annual Inner Peace Retreat is coming up Saturday, May 6th, at Eaton
Mm.
DC. And the early bird tickets are on sale now. They're going up in about a week to general admission tickets, so make sure you hop
Mm.
on that. Our website is www.iprdc.com. We're gonna have a meditation session this year. We're gonna have
Mm.
a rest installation lounge space as well
Wow.
for you to learn rest practice and also practice rest practice. We're
Mm.
going to be having a yoga session. We're going to be having a journaling session. We're
Mm.
having two different panel discussions. So the theme this year for the Inner Peace Retreat is spirit, mind, and body. And
Nice.
so spirit being placed first, and in
Mm-hmm.
brackets, the is around the spirit. And so
Mm.
we're having two different panel discussions. One called Spirit Talk, kind
Mm.
of like spirit. How do I lean into
Mm.
it? What does it mean in my life,
Yeah.
right? And then the second panel is Get Your Mind Right. It'll be a therapy chat with a male and a female therapist
Wow.
to kind of talk about like the journey of our minds, unveiling that, where to go when you,
Mm.
what tips are around that, and also like
Mm.
back those layers as well. So
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna be awesome. You just gotta
Yeah.
pull up. I mean, I know you're in Atlanta, Trey, but
Yeah.
get, get the church like the church folks do, get a bus of
You
people.
right. You right.
Okay.
You right. You right. We all go in on the tank. You right.
Atlanta ain't nothing but a quick little flight. If you need to jump on a
You
flight, okay, to
you right.
DC
You right.
and join us. We would love to have you all. So it's gonna be awesome. We're gonna have vendors, local vendors,
Wow.
and a whole bunch of stuff going on. So it'll be lit.
That's super, super dope. I mean, again, just even stepping back into the inner peace movement. I know you told me before, what I'm saying, in terms of how it all started, how what initiated it, how did you go about, doing it? But could you just give a brief synopsis of, how you came about even launching something like this and the level of growth it's at today?
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So um what's funny is back in 2020, I had
Mm-hmm.
this goal to like share more about my self-care and my journey to inner peace and be like a self-care influencer,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I started sharing more content around that and just kind of sharing like my journey to inner peace. For me, what kind of jolted my intentional journey with inner peace was at my lowest, I was
Mm-hmm.
trying to balance with everything going on. And my lowest being that I lost my mom in 2017
Mm-hmm.
at the age of 23. So for me, that's when I started getting really intentional about like my inner peace
Yeah.
and through my healing and different things like that. So in April of 2020, I hosted a 3-day virtual retreat on the journey to inner peace. I taught 3 different sessions that I hosted around grief and healing, self-talk, how you talk to yourself, also how priceless peace is. And that was just basically just sharing my story. And from there, a few months later, we started the inner success movement. We started selling merch online. We just started by kind of just posting different scriptures and different things like that, just to get motivation for people around like their journey and letting them know they're not alone. And then we continue to have events. I mean, from 2020 to 2021, we had probably about 60 plus events, partnered events and different things like that too. So we've had this retreat now going on the 4th year. So we had it in 2020, 2021, it was virtual. The first time it was in person was last year at Eaton Hotel in DC.
I forgot.
And then having it again this year in person as well. So really, really grateful for this journey. You know, I think that it's been a beautiful thing to witness because it's something, it started out so personal, right? Like just sharing my own story and the things that I've been through and different things like that. And just honestly, just wanting to kind of push this message of like, y'all, like burnout is real. Like things are happening in life. Like having a foundation, you shouldn't have to get to your lowest before you realize that you need a foundation, you know, or trying to find peace or peace of mind in the middle of your lowest, you know? So just kind of, you know, I am unapologetic about the healing of myself and I'm also unapologetic about the healing of others. So just being able to push that message into the world and for people to, no matter where they are in their journey, whether they're beginning it or they're developing it or they're far along and they're looking for new ways to add to it, I'm just thankful to be there and a part of it.
That is super dope. And I actually just not realized why I resonate with you so much then, because of what you do and because of how you actually started it. You know what I'm saying? You share stories, or you shared your story. In turn, you bring people together to, I guess, in some sense, share their story, and then also bask in those triumphs within their stories.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And that's pretty much exactly what I do, like in that same instance, but at the same time, you know, you of course have a different name for it, inner peace movement. There's a specific goal in that, but it's kind of what I do too, just not necessarily the blatant name. You know what I'm saying? So I see why we resonate. I see why I'm so interested in, like, every time I'm scrolling on what you're doing, I'm seeing what you're doing.
That's what community is all about. Sorry, y'all. The king. So here the king.
Okay. Ah, man. Yeah, you gotta show him. Gotta show him off, man.
He might jump up here a few more times, but you know, that's what community is all about, right? I think sometimes, you know, it's just about bringing people together that are looking to share like-minded things or like-minded qualities or looking for help with things or just looking to feel like they're not alone, right? Because through life, like especially after coming out of pandemic, we can feel like we're going through so many different things alone, and that's we cannot go through life alone, you know. So being in community with people is really important. Community with like-minded people is also very important. And you know, and also just feeling like you have a safe space. You know, I think sometimes this world has so much criticism, especially with social media and different things like that. Just having a space where you feel belonging, a sense of welcoming, just kind of just be yourself. You know, that's also really important in today's society as well.
Man, I'm trying to wing it, but you making this interview sound too interviewee. Like you answering it so good. That's what I mean. Like I'm trying to curve the questions. I'm like, man, like why she sound like she came here prepared? Like we actually winging
it. Okay.
I know. You saying all the right stuff.
I asked Trey before he said the core, y'all. I said, "What questions you asking me?" He said, "We just gonna wing it." He said, "You cool with that?" I said, "All right, we gonna wing it then." All right.
That's what I'm saying. Like you are making this sound so like what you're saying is accurate and it's hitting, you know, the nail on the head in terms of what it is I'm looking for, what it is I'm trying to pull out of you, and you're just pouring. And it actually leads me to my next question, and that is, you're a serial entrepreneur, right? So you're serious, which means that you carry multiple businesses, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Right. So then what do you do other than the inner peace movement? And I guess maybe in some way, how are they tied all together?
And it's
And
the inner
then
success.
inner success movement, I'm sorry. And how do they tie together in regards to each other? And then how do you balance all of that as a serial entrepreneur?
Yeah, absolutely. So
Mhm.
I am also the owner of Decor by Keirsten. We are a home decor company. We sell we sell candles. We have
Mm,
and home decor.
mm,
We do different pop-ups around the city as well. And um, so home decor and peace are not too
yeah, they're
you know,
not really interested. Okay.
I think
Mhm.
they kind of like they synonymously or they kind of parallel each other in a different way,
Yeah.
right? Like, they're
Mm,
different, but they stand alone, but they I think that looking for peace in yourself and also
mm,
looking to make your home, something you dreamt about or make your home your sanctuary. It's
mm,
all around those same lines as well.
mm.
Um and for me that was my first business that I started actually back
True.
in
Mm,
2015. And I'm passionate about home decor. I used to watch
mm,
home HGTV with my mom all the time growing up.
yeah.
And that's kind of what got me started into like
Mm,
digging interior design, different things like that.
mm,
And where we have a digital series called Decor
mm,
TV. We sell candles and home decor
mm,
supplies as well. So, yeah, definitely check us out too. Decor by
mm,
Keirsten
mm,
um, on social media. I also have a 9 to 5. I'm a sales manager
mm.
for a corporate company as well. So,
Nice.
I
Mhm.
got my hands in multiple things. And what's funny is I do feel like God is pushing me to kind of narrow down and focus in this season. So I am trying to kind of like focus in on more so on inner success and kind
Mm,
of like developing that for right now.
yeah.
Um, and that's a tough thing, especially when you are a serial entrepreneur or or you just have your hands in multiple
Multiple
things,
things.
or just when you have multiple passions, right?
Yeah.
It talks about like
Multiple passions.
when you're passionate about multiple things and then you it feels almost like a lack of talent not to use all of those things at one time. But I'm not well, I want to encourage somebody to say that, yes, lean into your talents, yes, lean into and utilize all the talents that you have.
Mm-hmm.
um but I also believe that um when your time
Mm-hmm.
and your passions are not aligned, you have to take a step back and focus in on what deserves your time today.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes, we don't always we have visions for different things, but it doesn't mean they're meant to be right now. It doesn't mean they're meant
Mm-hmm.
months. It doesn't mean they're meant to be next year. It just means that they're going to come into fruition.
Nice.
So if you have a big vision for something, it doesn't mean that it's going to happen right away. It may happen 10 years from now.
Mm-hmm.
But hold on to that vision and
Yeah.
focus on what you can today, because what you're doing today is going to impact what's going to happen tomorrow. So I'm
Mm.
definitely working through that in this
Yeah.
season, especially as I'm talking about like taking a step back from decor and different things
Yeah.
like
Mm-hmm.
and my corporate job that pays my bills right now, so I ain't
Yeah.
taking too much step back
Nah.
from that.
Yeah. I understand. I understand. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it's
Yeah, I
paying for
understand.
this. I just
Mm-hmm.
I am in the process of home buying too, so it's paying.
Okay. Wow.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
we
Mm-hmm.
ain't gonna talk too much junk about our little corporate job,
Yeah. Yeah.
okay?
Yeah. 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 I feel you.
But at the end of the day, you know, if anybody is struggling out there, because we are a generation of instant gratification, me included.
Yeah. Yeah.
So find myself getting hung up on, I already got like,
Hurry up. Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
it's gonna be a
Yeah.
full-time
Yeah.
entrepreneur. What is the hold up? We need to be leaving this job in 6 months,
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
But at the
Yeah.
same time, like God, he puts us into different seasons for different
Mm.
right? And there's this in every season we have to steward over the things that's in front of us because we
Mm,
have to steward over little before we can steward over much,
mm,
right?
mm.
Any season we're in. And even when we're stewarding over much,
Yeah,
we remember what it was like to steward over little,
yeah.
right? And in between as well. So
Mm,
just by being able to lean in on your today, being
yeah.
present, that's also really, really important to help with like not being so caught up on like where you need to
Mm,
go. Like just
mm,
trying to bring yourself present. Breathing, meditating really helps me with that.
yeah.
And just trying to stay grounded in today and just remain on the fact that my visions are valid, they're coming into fruition, just making sure that I'm doing the work I need to today to steward over
Mm,
them for today.
mm. So how do you find time? I guess how do you make time for yourself? How do you make time for you, for Keirsten? Like how are you what things are you doing to make sure you do what you just said? You know, are you blocking people? Are you cutting some people off? Are you forcing your way? Yeah, what's going on to make sure that this stuff happens? Because it sounds like there's going to be a little bit of isolation that needs to happen in order for these things to happen.
Um,
But you run a
I
community, like not,
I
yeah, not to cut you off, but you run a community, like you run a whole community. So how do you even take a step back from? You see what I'm saying? Like how do you keep doing everything while taking a step back?
well, I'll say this.
Mm-hmm.
I am very unapologetic about certain parts of my day. Like my morning routine.
Yeah. Okay.
I know people see me on Instagram every morning in the gym,
Mm-hmm.
but I promise you, I probably lived a whole life before I got on Instagram.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Every,
Yeah.
every morning, my morning routine is part of my me time, and it's my me time with God as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I get up around 4:30, 4:45 every morning. I meditate, I pray, I read my Bible, spend time in devotion, and then
Mm-hmm.
I go to the gym. And a lot of times, um, when I'm at the gym, most of the time I'm not talking to anybody. There was a time where I was on like a prayer call and kind of doing a dual duty as well. Most of the time, I'm not really talking to anyone. It's usually still my time
Your
for
time.
myself.
Mm.
Um, I know that I have lately been using Do Not Disturb a lot. I'm not a big fan of it. You miss a lot of things on Do Not
Yeah,
Disturb, but
yeah,
at
yeah.
the same time, when I need to focus, like I use that as a way to kind of be able to focus in on what I'm
Mm-hmm.
doing at the time.
Yeah.
Because things do require focus, especially when you are trying to get things done. But
Mm-hmm.
I will say this: when things when you make time for things, time um
Makes time for
you,
those other.
time kind of it can flow a lot better than you
Yep.
maybe
Yep.
expect,
Yep. Yep.
um and even when I'm adding in new things in my season too, like I have goals to you know like be a fitness instructor, different
Mm-hmm.
things like that as well. And I'm like, well, where is that going to fit in there? And
Mm-hmm.
a lot of times when adding on new things to my plate and stuff like that, it may not seem like it had time for it in the beginning, but then you start seeing pockets of
Mm-hmm.
where
Mm-hmm.
you start seeing how it can balance. And
Mm-hmm.
then once you kind of just take time to realize, like, okay, well, if I'm going to do this from this time, if that means I'm sacrificing this, I need to get it back somewhere else, right? So it may be that I don't go out every night of the weekend,
Mm-hmm.
but Friday nights, usually it's hard to get me to do something on Friday night because
Mm-hmm.
Friday night after work, I even my businesses on most Friday nights, I don't tend to try to do too much
Yeah. Yeah.
Friday night.
Yeah.
Friday nights are my me time, me with the
Mm-hmm.
dog, me with a glass of
Mm-hmm.
wine, me catching up on my shows, me with a face mask on the couch. You know what I'm saying? I do things like that to kind of rejuvenate myself. And
Yeah.
then Saturday, maybe brunch, maybe catching up with friends. Sunday is church. And then after church, I'm back to,
The grind.
my
Mm-hmm.
budget or,
Mm-hmm.
whatever task I need to do to get me prepared for the week. So
Mm-hmm.
I think that once you kind of get into a rhythm and a flow, you kind of can find different pockets. But I will say, being a community leader, in order for you to be able to pour into others, you have to be unapologetic about pouring into yourself. And I can say I'm sometimes not that great at it. Like at the
Ooh.
end of the day, you can't pour from an empty cup. You can't
Ooh.
give to others the way that you need to if you have nothing left to give. So I definitely give to my community, and also with my community as well. I have times where I'm there and there's set times, and I think that I'm pretty solid on those times, right? Like it's not even more so like I spend all day in the Facebook group, then therefore I got nothing done for
You're right.
everything, right? Like every Tuesday, they know every Tuesday morning they can find me on Clubhouse because I'm doing Wake Up, Let's Meditate.
Oh
Okay.
wow.
And every Thursday, at 6:30, they know they can find me in the Facebook group because I'm going to do sit and pray, and I'm going to have a
Wow.
prayer call. Like they know to expect that every single week, right? So since they know that, kind of like they know where to find me. And then, as things flow throughout the, week and different things come up, we put it into the community Facebook group. But, it's kind of like there are set things that are like there, right? And also those things translate to like our events, right? Like like even during our inner peace retreat, we have set times to everything, and they'll know that yoga's at this time. They'll know, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
kind of like it's set for them.
My goodness, man. I'm taken back by you. Like I am. I really am. To be honest with you, I need to be asking you a lot more questions, just like personally, like just shooting questions at you and picking your brain because again, I'm newer to this, I think, than you are. You definitely had a community when I met you before I, even started to understand what I'm doing. Like for real, like for real. And I mean, I feel like
You already had your community going when we met, but okay.
and I mean, I had a little something. I mean, you know what I'm saying? But like now it's when you were, like you said, when you kind of diving into multiple passions, when you kind of getting into multiple things that you want to do and try out, and then all those things start to bubble or grow together, it can become overwhelming. It can become scary. It can
Yeah.
become scary. It's like like now everybody's leaning on you. They, you doing these check-ins with your group members, or they paying you to be in a group. It's like I would never even thought that. Like, you paying me to be in something that I create. Like, I think when you get to those moments and people start to, in a sense, throw responsibility on you, that can become scary. And especially for a group leader. I feel like a lot of people don't think group leaders are scared.
Um, I first of all, anything that is meant for you purpose wise is gonna be scary. If the dream is not scary, or it's not big enough. You know what I'm saying? Like it's gonna be scary. But what I can say is that boundaries are also really important too, right? Like yes, we're paying you and paying, for this space, but at the same time, you know, you set the template. You set the template of what, that time that is expected,
That's
right?
good.
And if you set up front, then there's no way to kind of like, I guess, lose that along the way, if that
That's
makes sense,
good.
right? And sometimes I know when you're trying to figure out your business and you're trying to kind of figure out the template, you kind of just go with whatever, right?
Yeah.
Somebody calls, you pick up, right? But
Yeah.
in that okay too. Like when, especially in the beginning stages of building a community, like it's always good to make sure that people feel, seen, heard, and different. But also, you are a person too. You
That's
have to
true.
spend time for yourself as well. Um, Entrepreneurs get burnt out just as much as corporate folks do, and I think that sometimes people look at entrepreneurship as a way to have their own time, or they can be on their own time, or freedom, which it does have its own layers of freedom. But at the same time, a lot of times entrepreneurs work even harder than corporate folks. Okay,
Yeah. Oh.
because we might not always have that set, salary coming in every 2 weeks, like and stuff
Preach.
like. So
Preach.
you have to work really, really hard to make
Yeah.
sure you're reaping on your investment,
Yeah.
potentially. And as an entrepreneur, you have to, just as people go to a 9 to 5 every day, your entrepreneurship life journey will probably not be a 9 to 5, but it still has to have some parameters, right? Like you have work hours, Then you
Yep.
have your hours where you are doing admin stuff or,
Mm-hmm.
you know, doing other things like
Mm-hmm.
have set times I be with my team.
Yeah.
I think you also asked me about that too, about balancing. Trust me, I do not do this alone. I have a
Yeah,
dope team that I work
I
with,
feel you.
and building
Mm-hmm.
a team within the first year of inception of my business probably was the best thing I could have ever done for this
Mm-hmm.
today.
Yeah.
So, as far as like building my team, like
Mm-hmm.
as far as like we have like our meetings once a month, we have
Mm-hmm.
our want ones, and different things like that. Like
Mm-hmm.
there are different set things that you can set boundaries for so that you are not making sure that you are burnt out and different things like that. I just had to implement a rule in the last couple months where I was like, all right, y'all, like I can't take meetings past 8 o'clock. I can't take meetings past 8 o'clock anymore. I
Yeah.
know that sometimes working people and that 7 ends up being a little tight after work and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that. But I think if it's gonna be at 8 o'clock, it's gotta be a one-off because
Yeah.
it can't be I'm having meetings after 8 o'clock
Yeah.
every single day because it's messing up my sleep pattern. I'm
Uh-huh.
struggling to get up in the morning. And then I'm tired. I'm dragging through my day. When I leave work, I'm not motivated to do my work, and it's just continue to be a domino effect, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, that's me setting a boundary, right? Like
Yeah.
if y'all need to catch me, meet me from 4 to 7. Okay.
That's literally what she told me about this. That's literally what
Yeah,
you told me about.
that's my time frame. That's
Yeah.
it, right?
Yeah.
Because I need to be able to wind down,
Yeah.
quiet my mind, go to sleep.
Yeah.
Sleep.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not good to nobody if I'm walking out here with 2 hours of sleep and
Facts.
trying to move somebody's dumbbell in the gym at 6 a.m. I'm gonna knock myself in the head messing
You
with messing
silly.
with that.
You
And
silly.
for what? Because at the end of the day, like, you
Mm-hmm.
know, these visions, I think it even goes back to fitness, right? Like taking care of ourselves, like a good sleeping pattern is a part of your overall health that
Mm-hmm.
we don't talk about a lot too. Like that's part of maintaining your health. And you're doing all of these things and you're going after your passions and going after your purpose. And that is beautiful, but it won't mean nothing if you did.
You look, stop talking about me, man.
It won't mean nothing if you are burnt out and dead and got
Yeah.
strokes and
Yeah. Yeah.
all these different things. It won't
Yeah.
mean nothing.
Yeah.
You're gonna work really hard to get nowhere.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
Like
true.
these things are here for you to be able to leave a legacy for those behind you and different things like
Mm-hmm.
that. Um, so just make sure you take care of yourself because can't
Mm-hmm.
nobody take care of you better than you. So
You're right. You I'm so convicted off your words. I'm like, man, like, because you're right. You're right. You're exactly right. You can't do nothing if you're dead. You're right. You're right. You're right. And
and I'm working hard right now, but let me tell you, in these 40s, baby, I'm gonna
you want to
be
be,
tired.
yeah, you want to be, yeah,
No, it's not like I'm not gonna be working hard. I think that's what sometimes people don't get, right? Like,
yeah,
oh, I'm gonna grind hard so I can live in my I'm gonna be
yeah.
still working in my 40s, right? I'm still gonna be working hard. But
Mm-hmm.
the things that I've done in my 20s and my 30s to build the brand, to
Mm-hmm.
get the recognition out there, to partner with people, to build up our products, to build up our
Mm-hmm.
community, do all those things. When I get into my 40s, the establishment is gonna be there,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
It's gonna get to a point where it can be a company or run without me, right?
yeah, yeah.
And or not necessarily without me, but like I may not necessarily be doing every single
Mm-hmm.
thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's the ultimate goal is to
Yeah.
build a company, build something that
Mm-hmm.
can last without you there because
Mm-hmm.
you set the template, you've done the work, you've set the standard. Like
Mm-hmm.
people speak and know the vision without you even being there. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
That's the goal. And so now I get to not only, spread it with my community, but I get to spread this message with the world, right? I
Mm-hmm.
get to do this in a greater capacity. So
Yeah.
that's I think that's at least for me that's like my personal like vision and goal. It's just like to um is to yes work hard and yes it can be a
Mm-hmm.
lot, but it's gonna all benefit later for sure.
Telling you, man. Telling you, you came with a script. I'm telling you, you came with something. You reading something. I don't know what it is, but she read.
I'm looking at the computer and King over here trying to be
She
mad I'm
read.
not at all.
She
That's what he doing.
reads. She reading something like it's so good. It's so good, and I love it. I love what you're saying. So many golden nuggets you done laid. Like I was literally thinking of my last question because I know you got a few more minutes. I'm gonna leave you with a few minutes, so you can kind of prepare for your next meeting. But
I appreciate that.
okay, she was late, but it's still cool. It's all cool. I still want I have mercy and grace. But nah. But I really want you to make sure you get what you have to get done. But I do want to ask you one other question. There's a few other questions but I'll ask you this one other question. How would you define success?
Hmm.
What is that to you?
Hmm.
You ain't see that coming. Exactly. Look, let's go.
Good. That's good. Yeah. Well, if I want to be cliche,
Mm,
our mantra at Inner Success is inner peace is the real success.
okay, that cliche now. I love that. I love that.
If I want to be cliche, okay. I
With the
actually
shirt.
believe, yeah, with the shirt. Inner peace is the real success. Legit, legit. No, but I truly believe that though. I think
Yeah.
that big element of success is balance, it's
Mm,
peace, and um it's confidence with self.
mm.
I think that sometimes we can look for external validation,
Yeah.
external factors as to what success looks like.
Mhm.
But at the end of the day, those are just things.
Yeah.
People validation, it's fleeting. It's like an emotion. It's here today, but it might be gone
On
tomorrow,
tomorrow.
right? Um, More so, instead of looking for the things, look inward because that's actually where success matters. That's where it
Mm,
begins. That's where the desires burn from.
mm.
So, um, yeah, success is more so inner peace.
Enemies.
Is the real success. I don't know what to tell you. Inner peace is the real success. Okay. Just yeah, it's just looking inward and making sure that
Yeah.
at the end of the day, if you did everything that you could do, if you did the thing that is pushing you towards purpose, if you did the
Yeah.
thing brings you ultimate joy at the end of the day,
Mm,
it doesn't matter if one person saw it, it don't matter if 1,000 people saw it. It's just,
mm,
you know. So yeah.
mm. This is why I had to do this. You know what I'm saying? Like it, I pride. I'm for real. I proud myself off of being able to spot the people that I talk to and why. Like it's like I ain't just hopping on everybody because I ain't got the time in the day. You know what I'm saying? It's like yeah, you can't talk to everybody. But when I bring people on, I'm like, man, how can this person be of value to the listener? How can this person be of value to the person that is going to be watching this? And all the stuff you just said, Keirsten, everything you said, every word, um every thought that you processed, you were very careful in what you said. You were thinking before speaking, and I picked up on that, and that showed me that you aren't just talking, you're living. You're doing what it is that you're telling people to do because you're probably thinking about experiences, things that you've done, and you even mentioned things that you're doing now. You know what I'm saying? The
Yeah.
4 to 7. You know what I'm saying? Like you mentioned the things that you do and you implement, and so I respect you for that. And I appreciate you being willing to be transparent about the things you shared. I think what you're doing is amazing. I think, and that's why I wanted to bring you on. I want people to see it. I think what you're standing for is amazing. Your faith, obviously, I also proclaim the same faith, and so I share in that level of love and that expectation with that. Though it never looks perfect, but at the same time, I know what it is that you have as an anchor, and I think that is also important. Um, and I salute you in like as I let you go, I mean, I just think that what you're doing is incredible, and don't stop. Just keep being you. I think you've only grown. I only see maturity even from the months we've known each other, and the last time we talked like this. So, yeah, for real, for real, for real. So, you know, this definitely won't be the last time we talk. I think I'm gonna bring you back on here for some other stuff. Like, I'm just want to just pick your brain about topics, seriously. But in the meantime, I know you got a meeting you got to do. So definitely shout out where they can find you, where people can follow you, and things of that nature. And then we can go from there. We can close from there.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Trey, for having me on. It has been a pleasure to talk to you always.
Always.
Chat with you always. We be chatting it up. We be chatting it up, laughing
Yeah.
up about nothing and everything. So I'm always thankful for you, Trey. And I'm
Absolutely.
thankful to see you walking in your gifts. Keep doing that. It's gonna be lit. It's gonna be lit. It's gonna continue to be lit. Okay. Period. Yeah. And so you guys can find me on Instagram
Mm-hmm.
um and YouTube at Royal underscore like Hoyle HOYLE.
Mm.
Um and then you can find me on TikTok at it's Royal underscore like Hoyle. And for our inner success movement,
Mm-hmm.
you can find us on all social media platforms: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, um, Clubhouse,
Mm-hmm.
YouTube. You
Mm-hmm.
think of, we got it, y'all. It's at Inner X Success. Inner X Success.
Mm.
So pull up on us. Like I said, our Inner Peace Retreat is coming up.
Mm.
You can find out more about the event at www.iprdc.com. So pull up on us.
Dope, dope, dope. Send me all those links. All those things you just said, if you don't mind, can you just send? I'm gonna post them in the description. So
Okay,
if you could
I
just
got
send, yeah, if you just send them all to me, it doesn't have to be today, but whenever you get that time, you could do it. And then just send it to me and I'll post everything. I'll make sure people can, come to you. So, but thank you, Keirsten, so, so much. Don't hop off just yet. Don't hop off just yet. I just want to talk to you after we, end the recording. I know we got to end off with a smile so they can see us. But but nah, I appreciate you guys. If you stayed this long for the video, make sure you like, share, subscribe. This was no specific video, no fitness, no this was just a video. I really just want to start doing more of these where I just sit down and talk to people because I really also just like talking to people. So
you.
she made time for me today. Was nothing specific, but at the same time, she was very specific in her goal or goals. And so, Keirsten, I thank you so much. And guys, thank you for watching. Like I said, like, share, subscribe, comment, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.